Hello, everybody. Welcome to the new year and a new episode here at Film Seizure.
Happy New Year's, man.
Yes, and that is Chuck Moore.
What the fuck?
He can get it if he really wants, but he's always got to try.
True.
Isn't that right, Chuck?
That is correct, man.
Yes, exactly. Now, meanwhile, the other guy there, he wants his milk and honey right now in this room. That's Jason Oliver.
I'm not going to attempt a Jamaican accent for everyone's benefit. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Happening.
How's it going, Jason? Happy New Year.
It's going. Happy New Year.
Yes. It's always
New Year.
It's always the time where we think it's got to be better than last year, and it never is. It never ever is.
Sometimes it hasn't happened in a long time, but yeah.
I'd give my left testicle for a good 2020.
Oh, boy. Well, we can get into the HIPAA violation there if we'd like.
No, that's good. That's all I'd like to say on that.
Okay. All right. I thank you for your left nut, by the way. That was really, really needed. Anyway, so we are kicking things off. This is kind of a little bit of a musical month of sorts. And this is also kind of the first of a type of episode that you can expect at least once a month going forward from us. A lot of the reason why we wanted to kind of switch up of the things that we kind of did the last couple of weeks with those now playing episodes is to take a little bit of pressure off of always having every week an episode where we may or may not have a lot more to say about the movie than the movie itself. And, really kind of talk about more contemporary stuff, kind of more fun, kind of like, hey, this is kind of what we're watching right now. We think you would like it sort of stuff. So this type of episode is going to kind of fall into what we would call like a deep dive type of episode where, we're going to talk a little bit more of the stuff surrounding the movie as well as the movie itself. And maybe a little bit less of what you might have expected in the past, where we kind of go through beat by beat, because, really in some of these types of situations, there's a little bit more going on under the surface. And that is certainly the case with this episode, which is for 1972's The Harder They Come.
Good episode or good movie for this, because beat by beat on this would be damn near impossible, it feels like.
Yes.
Well, what's kind of funny is that in a sort of way we will get there when we talk about when I have some of the stuff to talk about with like the real life person that this is kind of based on. This follows kind of an outline beat by beat of that person's set of crimes in a very short period of time. So in a way that will sort of be there, but not in the way that we would normally.
Gotcha.
But Jason, were you going to say something more to that? Or?
No, not really.
Okay. Is this the first time watch for both of you?
Yes.
Not me, but it's been many, many years since I've seen this.
Yeah, this was not obviously for me either, because I did a review at B Movie Enema for this. Liked it a lot the first time. I think this will be something that you guys would find a lot to like in it too, kind of like with The Quiet Earth. I think this is a very interesting movie for a lot of different reasons. This was one of the earlier instances where also the movie and the soundtrack sold each other. The soundtrack became extremely popular, especially like wherever there was a Jamaican population. So like in London, in the big cities in America, obviously in Jamaica. But this was a movie that the director wanted to put a lot of music in, as starred a very popular, up and coming, musician, We'll talk about him very soon because he just recently passed away a few weeks ago. And then it got to the idea where, like, you know, part of the help to get this movie kind of out there came from Island Records, who wanted to release a soundtrack. And next thing you know, everything is selling itself or the other. Soundtracks have been a thing for a long time, but not quite like this sort of situation where it's kind of a slightly more poppy type of, not poppy, but like it's sold to them. It's kind of a jukebox soundtrack of sorts.
And the self-titled song is incredible. It's a great song.
It was written for the movie, and they changed the name of the movie because of how good the song is. Yeah.
Unsurprised by that. Like,
yes.
Not much in reggae in my life. How do I rephrase this? Reggae is like sci-fi for me. I only like some of it, but what I really like. And sure. Jimmy Cliff is one of those artists that I've always gravitated towards.
Yeah, Jimmy Cliff, I actually knew of him long before, because, like, you know, like when it comes to reggae, it's like you kind of get the kind of the stereotypical, like, you know, everybody has their way of, well, we kind of did it at the start of this episode, talking like a Jamaican or thinking of what reggae would sound like. And yet the thing that most of us know is Bob Marley. But there's a whole lot deeper ocean than that. And what's kind of interesting about Jimmy Cliff is that he isn't just reggae. He's a crossover artist all over the place.
Right.
I mean, on the soundtrack alone, he has like 4 songs of 4 different styles.
Yeah. What's the key? I can't remember the song, but the Cliffs of Dover song is a total like.
So, yes. So that one is more of it's almost like a gospel song, but that's Many Rivers to Cross. John Lennon did a cover of that.
I knew I recognized it as I was listening to it in the movie, and I was like, where's this from? And I was so up against it time-wise, I'm like, I can't even look anything up right now. It's annoying.
It was, John Lennon, Harry Nilsson, Linda Ronstadt, they've all done that song. And then, you know, you've got like Sitting Here in Limbo is kind of more of a straightforward ballad. And you can get it if you really want. It's kind of more of a pop song.
Right.
And of course, The Harder They Come is pretty straightforward reggae.
Yeah.
So with that, Jason, what thoughts do you have here at the?
I was quite enjoying it. I liked it overall. I liked it. And I definitely like the music. Although I'm not like a huge reggae fan, this is pretty well known, approachable reggae.
Sure.
And I was actually surprised by how many of the songs I knew, because I know Jimmy Cliff, but it's not like that's an artist I just listen to very often, right? So I don't always associate the songs with the man,
right?
But this kind of put it together, so that was neat. Especially since he just passed recently, so it felt like a good time to rediscover some of this, and obviously discover the movie for the first time. I don't really think I loved the second half of this movie so much, though, when it kind of devolved into the criminal aspect of it. Like I think it was definitely interesting to see some of the like marijuana smuggling and all of that side of it, because obviously that is and probably still is a big part of Jamaican culture. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of I was kind of with Ivan for a lot of this movie, and then I was just not with Ivan much anymore. And so it just kind of I don't know. It felt like it became a little bit of a like a typical sort of, I don't know, exploitation movie at that point.
Yeah, I mean that the second half is yes. I don't disagree with you.
Now there are elements of it that I get it, and I'm like, yeah, he's backed into a corner. He doesn't have many options, but I don't know. I don't really want to bring this movie up, but it's one of the reasons why I didn't really like the movie that everybody seems to freaking love right now, Marty Supreme, is that I just couldn't get with the main character at a certain point. I just was like, I'm not rooting for him anymore. And that was kind of like my problem with it. But I do think in a lot of ways, because of the cultural situation and how real it was and how poor the community is and how little options he had, it made more sense in context.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's one of the things. I think why I still, like, I don't disagree with you that you can pick at the second half of the movie a little bit more than you can the first half. I don't disagree.
I was just really into it. I was into like all the music stuff, and I was like, oh, is this good? The payola stuff was interesting, and I was like, man, this is a good movie. Why did it have to become this movie?
Sure.
Right?
I think
it was already an interesting movie.
I think some of the stuff that I find most interesting in the back half is some of the stuff that's kind of outside of his character.
Yeah.
The stuff that's forcing him into that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and the people who are essentially protecting them and what the cost of that is, all part of payola, I guess, I think.
And a very real corrupt police force, and there are extenuating circumstances here that I certainly understand that it's commentating on.
And that's why this movie is groundbreaking, right? Because of its commentary on stuff. Because it's not a particularly well-made movie.
And I think it brought reggae music to the mainstream in a lot of ways too.
Yes, absolutely.
It brought that to the mainstream. It also, for the first time, showed largely European and North American whites a picture of Jamaica that is more realistic than the postcards that they send.
It's not all beach resorts. Yeah,
it's not beach resorts.
There's a reality. People live here and they struggle. Yeah.
It's not beach resorts and it's not calypso music.
Yeah,
it's the slums and it's reggae.
Right.
And that's where reggae comes from. It's kind of like, it's like the same stuff that it's a very similar kind of concept of, like seeing movies that center around rap and where that
old R&B, like R&B music from back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did. And Chuck, you mentioned that it's not a particularly well-made movie. And I kind of get what you're saying there. I agree, but at the same time, I think that's part of why it works too.
There's some charm to its weird.
There's charm to it, but it's also like there's realism
gritty
to it, grittiness. It feels like very cinema verite, right? It's truth, and I do think that is one of its strengths. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that kind of fell off for me in the second half, especially with like the Billy the Kid photo shoot, like that kind of stuff. I was like, this is taking away from my involvement in what's going on. Not necessarily. I mean, I don't think you can root for Ivan at a certain point. I don't think you should.
Right.
But that stuff was still more deterring for me than that. Yeah.
Yep.
We'll put a bookmark in that because that's actually that actually draws from real life. So
I figured it did.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think to kind of talk about this movie, I think we have to go to the director, Perry Henzell. Now, Perry Henzell is a white Jamaican. His family largely, originated in England, came to the Caribbean, worked on several islands, and down the way, he ended up getting born in Jamaica. He mostly did like commercial stuff. But he decided, you know what? I kind of want to make a movie. He's like in his mid 30s or whatever. And, he comes up with kind of a trilogy of sorts. And This was something that of all the stuff that I learned about this movie, of all the stuff that I dug into, I don't really understand fully one thing about this because I've seen conflicting stuff about this, but some people say it was an entire trilogy about Ivanhoe Martin. Some of it, which Henzell himself said, was a trilogy about the various conflicting spirits of being a Jamaican. One was the spirit of the countryside. So about people who worked in the rural parts of Jamaica.
So Ivan before he moved to
Effectively, yes. Then one about the spirit of the city, the clash of the modernization of Kingston as opposed to the countryside. And then the third, which was this movie, which was the struggle between the two opposing sides of Jamaica, taking somebody out of one and putting them into the other. And the inspiration for this came from the fact that by the mid 60s, transistor radios were widespread in Jamaica. And a lot of people in the countryside were tuning into radio stations and programs that were coming out of Kingston, and that they were being sold an idea of the opportunities in the city so that when they would go to the city, they would soon find out, oh no, there's almost no opportunity here, which is exactly what goes on here when Ivan comes into town.
go away, leave this place, like everywhere.
Yes.
Even his mother.
Yeah.
Is No Place Like Home available to see?
It is on the second disc of the very great 3-disc.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't get a chance to. I want to,
So
because I hear it's actually quite
dives, good. Then
we're not doing an episode on No Place Like Home. God damn it, there were 3 discs worth of stuff on here. Yeah. But yeah, if you can get your hands on the Shout,
and it has
selects,
the document. Does it have the documentary too? The Filmmaker's Odyssey.
Yes, that's on.
Cool. Here. Yeah, I might have to pick that up.
Yeah. But so, yeah, because basically, I mean, like we see it in the opening scene, like how happy Ivan looks on the bus. And like you get your first taste that something may not be quite the way he thinks it's going to be when the 2 buses nearly run into each other. And the guy on the one guy on the bus that Ivan's on is like, don't let him move. He can move. And it's like, it becomes very like, this is mine. This is, this is my road. Fuck you, other bus, basically.
Fuck you, other bus.
Fuck you, other bus. That's going to be the name of my new band. My new reggae band.
Fuck you,
I'm a fan.
Yes. But then like once they get back on the road again and everything is moving again, he's happy again. He's waving to the people behind him in the car, and the car's like probably the nicest car he's ever seen at the time. And then
he meets a nice person who's going to help him if he just helps him back. And
the very first guy that he talks to. Yes.
Yes. Where he learns the lesson that everybody is a grifter in this, this world.
Yeah. He's like, go over there. He owes me money. And then he like just takes off with all of his, the only thing he doesn't lose, or the only 2 things he doesn't lose, the clothes on his back and the money that's left over from his grandmother's funeral.
Yeah,
and that's like a classic like trope. I wonder how far back that trope goes.
That I don't know, but like it's the country bumpkin being taken by the city.
I mean,
streetwise guy.
It even happens in Showgirls.
It does happen in Showgirls. But she gets back at that mother.
She does.
She sure does. But also, like, it's not just that he meets a guy that's, that rips him up, but the whole place is crowded. It's dirty. It's not at all what he thinks he's going to be driving into when he's on the bus.
It's one toothless man face. 4 or 5 separate times. I'm like, why do they keep showing this man? And Steph's like, because he's toothless. I'm like, oh.
He's a good face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Driving home a point.
Yeah. Well, and then like Chuck, like you were saying, it's like, it's like he has no, like he goes to see his mom and his mom's like, get the hell out of here.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here? Oh, by the way, I'll take the money left over from your grandmother's funeral, but then get the hell out. Basically.
I'll give you the name of someone that will help you, and hands him the preacher.
Yeah.
And he's like, preacher?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, but
then he lies to his mom instead of saying he got taken by the grifter, because he did have one piece. Was it mango or...
Yeah,
I can't remember.
It was a mango. Yeah.
He brought his mom a mango, and she's like, where's my mango? And he's like, it was a bad
season.
Bad season.
Yeah.
Lion Ivan right there. So that tells you a little bit about him, I guess.
I mean, it's a little bit of an embarrassing thing to admit, right?
To admit, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it in the city, but I just I just got taken 5 minutes ago by some kid.
Like you kind of forgive it. It's a little bit like Ralphie shooting his eye out as soon as he busts his red rifle out, and he had a Red Ryder rifle. It's like, you don't want to admit that shit.
Good reference. Good reference.
Well, and that's the thing, it's like, and so going back to like what this movie was kind of meant to represent in terms of this trilogy of like what it means to be a Jamaican, it's like, the city was a fantasy. You were better off being outside the city. You would have had a job for the rest of your life. You would have lived a simple life, but you would have had everything you wanted.
Everything you needed. Yeah.
Or everything you needed. Now, if you didn't want anything more, or like within limits, I mean, you'd have your radio. You'd probably someday have a TV if you didn't already.
How's that one song go about wanting it and getting it?
Yeah. Well, you got to try. Yeah.
But there is a allure to the city too. It's busy. There's music. There's women. There's gambling.
When you're young, yeah, it's like the world represents the oyster you want.
Mm-hmm. It seems like the better thing, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
wisdom
one thing we don't,
otherwise.
The one thing you don't really know too much about Ivan at this point either is the fact that he is musically inclined. Like from the get-go, he wants to be in music.
I mean, he tells his mom he can sing, and you're kind of like,
yep.
I believe that. I believe
that's Jimmy Cliff. I believe it.
I believe you can sing.
I've been listening to his music since he drove in on that goddamn bus.
Yeah. I know that's true.
I honestly think The Harder They Come is probably the first Jimmy Cliff song I ever heard.
Yeah, probably.
It was not for me. The first one I heard was his cover of I Can See Clearly Now from Cool Runnings.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
I bought that single.
That's a great cover.
It is. It really is. Yeah. So, but yeah,
Cool Runnings.
I know, right?
Sorry.
Pulling out Cool Runnings. Yeah, pulling out a Cool Runnings reference.
I didn't realize that he did that cover that I love of Cat Stevens' Wild World. That's a great cover,
yes. Too. Yep.
We also have, and I just want to say this, I'm not going to talk about the music, but Toots and the Maytals are in this movie.
Toots and the Maytals. I've seen them before.
I love the name Toots and the Maytals.
Yep.
I think they're still a touring band.
They were up until like 2020, I think.
Yeah.
Because they did a tour that year, I remember.
Also, Bob Dylan said that Jimmy Cliff did the best ever protest song, the song Vietnam.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Got to listen to Bob Dylan on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I would feel like yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was being serious. So yeah. Jason's going to be contentious with Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan's a little agnostic. His early days, maybe.
Yeah, I just feel like
his heroes were protesters, but was he?
Well, no, his first couple of albums are loaded with. I mean, that's where you have Masters of War, and you have Times That Are Changing.
I mean, Hurricane is a protest song.
Hurricane's a protest song.
It is.
I don't think he did too many. Like, he wasn't, by the time that Vietnam came along, he wasn't really kind of doing that sort of thing, although he would say those types of...
I was saying is he would know it if he heard it, not
Yes.
necessarily that he's the icon or standard of that thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sure. I would trust his opinion. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Jimmy Cliff can sing. Bob Dylan can listen. We've
Right,
established
we've
that.
established this much. Yes.
I play a little guitar, just a little.
Yeah. So yeah, as far as like the other thing, you guys have already talked about like the grittiness of this movie, likely due to the fact that it was shot on Super 16.
Yeah, makes sense.
Interestingly, though, when the film was done, Henzell had to send all the processing to the UK because he couldn't find anybody in America to process Super 16.
Really?
Yeah, 16, yes. Super 16, no.
Huh.
So so all of the processing got done in because they didn't have there was no film industry in Jamaica. This is something that we've not said yet. Is this is the first Jamaican film made by Jamaicans.
Yeah.
So
Really?
yes.
You mean this white guy is Jamaican? I'm joking. Sorry. He looks like Jim Henson a little bit.
He does
to
look
me.
a little bit like Jim Henson, yeah. But yeah, and so it's like, and he hired as many Jamaicans as he possibly could. Like he didn't want anything done from anybody.
And then he
outside.
took $15 from each of them.
Exactly. Yes.
That is cool though, that it was a literally homegrown effort for
he did get he had to go around and he had to get the investors for this, and and he talked about how like I think he said it took like 7 years or so to pay them all back, which probably sunk No Place Like Home because he went broke and couldn't get any other funding for it, probably because he still owed the people that could fund.
What happened there? Because this movie did well, right?
It
and
did
the soundtrack,
well.
of course.
It did well. Well, the soundtrack that's going to be Island Records. That's going to keep all
Totally
soundtrack.
Independent of him.
Yes, and so the
Yeah,
movie.
I was gonna say there might be a story there too.
Yes, so when the movie premiered in Jamaica, of course, you're only going to make so much money inside Jamaica.
Right.
However, the premiere of the movie was it was insane. Like people were knocking over fences, standing in line. People involved with the movie that were supposed to be at the premiere could not get in, including the Prime Minister could not get in.
Amazing.
Which
Wow.
the movie only screened in Jamaica because the Prime Minister vouched for it because it was going to be banned originally. And Henzell was friends with the Prime Minister and he said, "Can you help me out here at all?" And he's like, "Well, I can vouch for it." He saw it. He liked it. He said, "I can vouch for it." The censors trimmed a few things here and there.
Jamaican censors?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah. Which I'm guessing was probably following a lot of the same stuff that UK censors were.
I wonder, was like the Catholic Church involved?
I mean, I would not be surprised if churches were involved, all things considered, with what we see in this movie.
Well, yeah, I mean that is one of the more interesting things about the movie too. Is the preacher? Yeah.
Oh, he's creepy as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
He's grooming his daughter. Effectively his daughter. Yeah. It's anyway.
Yeah.
We'll get to him when we get to him. But yeah, it's like the whole, so like the whole thing was going nuts because at the time that this was being released, Jimmy Cliff was rocketing to stardom in music. So these things were kind of going hand in hand, and they went nuts for it. And they were like, okay, well, let's try some film festivals in Europe. And in Ireland, they thought it bombed because nobody would react to anything, only to find out that it won the jury prize in Ireland. It did well in Venice. It didn't do so well in London until one critic finally showed up at a screening, wrote a positive review, and then it took off.
I have a question. Did this movie come with subtitles internationally?
Yes.
When it did? Okay.
Yes.
It would have been really nearly impossible to watch this movie without.
The first half of the movie, yes. The second half gets a little easier.
It's weird because like Chuck and I watched it on Canopy, and there are no burnt-in subtitles. So you have to put the captions on.
Well,
which I thought was strange.
I think they're burned into the Tubi version, but I had to turn them on for the DVD, for the Blu-ray.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Like I couldn't imagine being at any festival internationally and being like, I understood more than half of that movie. You're right though. Once they do get to the second half, for some reason maybe it's just the actors that are involved there, it does get more clear. Except for the one guy, Jose. Like I don't know.
Yeah, Jose is impossible.
Even his closed captions don't make sense to me.
Well, Jose is a bad guy. He's no good. He's
no way, Jose.
Yeah. But yeah, when it came to coming over to the United States, that was hard. And Henzell basically took it to each individual studio and screened it for him. I guess at one point, there was one guy that said that, he came to pick up the print and the projectionist was watching it. And he said, I'm sorry that it's still running. I wanted to watch it again. Like the executives left halfway through, but I loved this movie. And he's like, well, that gave me some hope that, that Americans would like this movie. It came down to AIP, American International Pictures, and Roger Corman.
Mm.
Roger Corman got the rights with New World Pictures.
Oh, it was New World, huh?
Premiered in New York, and then there was a falling out. Because
Corman and Henzell?
Yes, because Corman wanted to promote it as the average blaxploitation movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Henzell's like, it's not that. Yeah. This is about my country. It's like, it's not about,
That's interesting though, because Corman's not wrong either.
Well, no, he isn't. But at the same time, that was not the audience that Henzell was going for. And he ended up canceling the deal with Corman and personally took it to colleges. And then 2 months after the premiere and then after the falling out, it premiered at the Orson Welles Cinema in Cambridge,
Massachusetts,
and then played for 8 years straight.
Nice.
That's insane.
You can look up, if you go to Google and type in Orson Welles Cinema and go to the images, you'll find a newspaper clipping, and sure enough, The Harder They Come is one of the movies that is being advertised in the clipping.
Good on him.
Well, and Henzell said that he knew that in America it would have to be played at college towns. That was the audience he wanted.
It would have worked just fine at drive-ins, but I don't think it would be as well regarded in the United States had it gone that route. Yeah. Corman definitely would have just chewed it up and spit it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have focused on the second half of the movie for the. Yeah, right. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. So yeah, good on him. I think that's brilliant.
He did what Ivan does in the first half of this movie, like trying to grassroots produce himself to a point.
Yeah, he hustles. Yeah.
So it's interesting. He's living his art.
He's playing the game, his way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, 35 years later, he gets gunned down on a beach. No, I'm kidding. No,
it was only 30 years.
It was only 30 years. He's like, one of you send out a bad man, but anyway.
One bad man who can draw.
But no, he, he was only in that scenario because he had, I think it was his brother-in-law who did a lot of the deal cutting for him and worked with him to get, to do like the business part of it. He was not available when it was time to go to America with it. And, Henzell was out of his depth. Mm-hmm. And, he's trying to personally make a deal for his art. That's hard to do. Especially if the business part of it's not really your thing. You're the art side. It's going to be almost impossible. Right. But yeah, I mean, again, it was the authenticity of, no, Jamaica is not what you see in James Bond movies. Jamaica is, a third world country. I mean, it legitimately is, or was at that point. And probably still is, especially after the hurricane that they had a few years ago.
I was just reading about that. So I was supposed to go. I could have been doing this episode having actually been to Jamaica, but I did not get to go to Jamaica because of the hurricane. Yeah. But I read an article that their tourism industry is almost 100% back.
Really?
As of December. And as a testament to like the spirit of the Jamaican people, like they all just like banded together and just got it fucking done, man. And pitched in and got as much as it could be, back in operating shape, like roofs replaced and everything. I was like, that's incredible.
I'm guessing Jamaicans are a hardworking group of people.
It sure seems
they
like
have
it.
to be.
And I was shocked when I read that. I was like, oh my goodness, who would have thought, like 6 weeks later or whatever it was, the hotels were back open and they were accepting tourists. It's like, wow, that's amazing.
I said a few years ago, I did mean a couple months ago or whatever. I was thinking, I think I said a few years. I think I was thinking of Haiti, that got bowled over too. But anyway,
that was like a devastating hurricane, one of the biggest on record.
Yeah. So yeah, and now one of the things about this movie that gets praised, it's actually two scenes or two sequences in this movie that gets praised quite a bit that were not originally part of the script. The first part comes after his, basically he arrives in Kingston. He goes to see his mom and he's like, I'm staying here. I'm not going back to the country. And she's like, well, you're not going to get anything here. There's nothing here for you. But go see the preacher man. And he's like, man, the hell with that. And he goes out to watch, Django.
Yeah.
With Jose. And
that would be a fun screening of Django, by the way.
Oh yeah, everybody there was loving it.
They were into it.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say, because I did do a little research on the music, when he's talking to his mother, the song "Rivers of Babylon" is kind of playing in the background. Mm-hmm. In Jamaica, that refers to exile. So the music that's playing is kind of soundtracking what's happening to him in that scene.
Yeah. I mean, it's, I'm not surprised one bit that we don't see his mother again in the movie.
Right. He pays her instead of her like sending him off with money. But yeah, it felt final. Yeah. Like she had already left them in the country with their grandmother.
Which,
right?
which honestly, I mean, because I don't know if she sent him or if she left him, but whatever it was, that was the right decision. Again, he would have probably had
a better
life. Yeah.
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 And that's such a dichotomy in that too, right? Like, it's like
she's more perturbed that he's back than not because she doesn't love him, but because it's against her wishes for him.
And she also does an incredible job of acting that she's upset her mother is dead.
Oh God!
Yeah. Oh my God! Is what's left over from the funeral?
She really just wanted the money. Yeah, there are a little bit of crocodile tears there. Yeah.
Well, but she's also been corrupted and beaten down by
sure.
The horrific conditions of Kingston,
any prospect of a little money is like a huge deal. Yeah, you're scrapping every day.
For her, the $20 deal that he ends up getting for cutting the record would mean a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
I think it could have meant a lot to Jimmy, but he sees the corruption.
Yeah.
He's got a bullshit detector. Yeah,
And he sees it everywhere.
Yeah,
He's got a Roger Corman detector.
Yeah, after the first scene, which that's another kind of little nitpicky thing I have with this, like showing him as the country bumpkin in the first, 5 or 10 minutes, that does not last.
No, I do.
He gets wise to everything he sees after that. You know what I mean?
I will say that
I kind of like that though, because it always annoys me when they show young people who are from the country who just cannot adapt or get with it. I always find that to be counter realistic or unrealistic.
I like that he learns. It's just weird that we don't see him learn. Like I don't know how to explain it.
I think
he
that
just all of a sudden gets it. You know what I mean?
I think there could be two things. There's two things about this that I think could explain this. One, the simplest thing is he is that guy in the country. He's the smartest one in the country, or the slipperiest one in the country. And that's part of him being drawn to the city, is that he feels like he's progressing upwards, when in fact he's still going to be underneath the con man, the lowest con man in Kingston. He's got
to catch up.
Right. The other thing is that it is entirely possible this movie takes place over a longer period of time than we think it does. He may be coming in, and there's a reason why I say that.
The time skips with the Elsa,
exactly.
All of a sudden she's in a different place taking care of a kid, and you're like, when the fuck did this happen? Like, there's a bunch of stuff in this movie like that. So I do agree.
Yeah,
there's some time lapse, but it doesn't do a good job of telling us what it is either.
Part of that is, I think, to line it up with the timeline of Reagan, the guy that this is based on. And I'll get to him here in a bit, but yeah, like I was saying, there were two scenes that were kind of added that weren't initially part of the movie that ended up impacting audiences in two different ways from two different places. The first of those scenes was after his mother sends him off and he goes out to the movies with Jose, him trying to get a job and him seeing Kingston for what it is, which is a place where people are living in squalor. It's like people picking through the landfill, looking for stuff to live off of,
walking into people's backyards and asking them for money.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, part of that is just him trying to find anything to live on. But
that's what I'm saying. That's what people have to do there.
Well, and also that establishes very early on the haves and the have-nots. Like, this exists in Jamaica too. There's a definite class system happening here. Yeah.
Right.
And but all of that stuff where he is just watching people struggle to live, and he just had to sleep in a bus stop, and he can't get a job. He sees the disaster that he's walked into, basically. And that showed the rest of the world outside of Jamaica. It's like, we had no idea that this is we just thought Jamaica was a paradise. Mm-hmm. And I say we collectively as white people.
Yeah.
Because we are never let off the resort.
Right.
Exactly. And when we are, we're driven to
and we're driven to I don't know, like something else that's picturesque.
On a scenic route. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You never are driven into the slums of Kingston.
Right.
In fact, I don't know of anybody who goes to Jamaica and visits Kingston unless it's very specific parts of Kingston.
Well, there's resorts in Kingston, yeah.
Well, but I mean, but
do they let you out of them, Jason?
Yeah, I don't know. And
I was going to a resort in Montego Bay, so yeah.
Well, but
right.
that's the opposite side. But
yes.
Yeah, but I mean, but but what I'm saying is that you're not showing up to just walk freely around Kingston. No. You're there for very specific, as Chuck was saying in so many words, like a very curated experience.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
We get you, Jeff. We're just joking about a bit.
I wanted to mention one more thing about the scene, though, that Chuck mentioned of the backyard and him. The gate was open, and he starts asking an affluent Jamaican woman for work. And he's like, I'll do whatever you need. He lists off a bunch of things that he can do for work. And then when she keeps denying him, he's like, well, then can I just have a dime then, please? And then she berates him.
Yes.
Like, oh, you young men, you have all this enthusiasm, but can't get a job. He's like, what the fuck? It's like I tried to earn money.
Try.
Yeah. And I've been trying for however long he's been trying at this point, right? And there isn't any opportunity.
My guess is at this point it's probably been weeks at this point. I would think.
And to me, that's a very foundational moment in this movie for me because it really encapsulates the plight. Because he has been kind of driven and down to the point where it's like, what are my options?
I got to find people that have money and ask them for it or ways to work it off. Yeah. What's funny about that?
I don't want to beg.
Right.
But that's my last resort. And then when I get there, I'm made to feel less than human for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that woman represents some people I've seen in my life who they're almost like tourists too. They've only been to the nice part of town. They're only in their cush, nice place. They don't even realize what's going on.
Oh, don't go to downtown Annapolis. It's crime everywhere.
It's crime.
Yes, are we in the hood? Are we in the hood
there
right now? Like when you get off on Martin Luther King Boulevard?
Are we in the hood right now? No, you're in fucking Beach Grove.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, and there are people like that and they don't believe a lot of stories of people that were living in Kingston or other cities around the world where nasty, bad shit happens to people.
Well,
it's so frustrating.
Well, no, it is. I'm terribly frustrated by that too, because you see that. I mean, she is not unique to Kingston, Jamaica. She is unique to her class.
Yes,
she's unique to. I know people very well. I've seen people who aren't even wealthy basically say, what, you can't get a job when somebody says, hey, you got any spare change? Lift up your bootstraps by your paint loops or something, Jeff.
Whatever. Yeah.
Paint loops.
But pull up your Fruit Loops.
Pull up your Fruit Loops. Let me be your honeybee. We're turning this into a Peter Gabriel song.
But yeah, but no, that scene resonated with a lot of people. The scene that happens later, once he started his crime, or, his crime spree, Henzell, and, we'll talk a little bit more about this crime spree just in a moment here, but Henzell's like, well, everything that happens in the second half of the movie is him inevitably losing, and he is losing more and more and more ground until he ends up on that beach surrounded, basically.
Every game I play, I lose.
Exactly. And he is, and so he says, well, we got to show something good. And so they film the scene where he takes the car out to and drives around it's a golf course that he's driving around, which is hilarious. He's like fucking up that golf course, but he looks, it's the one time that he's happy. And that resonated with the Jamaican audience. Mm-hmm. And because
they're like, that's right, drive all over the fucking golf course. Sorry, Jeff. You have a point
it really is, because he is finally feels like he has power over the people that had power over him up to that point. And he's earned it through nefarious ways, but he has it now. And it's kind of, it's for the people who don't feel like they have anything, it made them feel good watching the movie.
That's interesting, because I wouldn't call myself a dumb watcher of film. Like I can usually, pull stuff out. This one, I'm like, what the fuck? Why is he driving in this golf course? I didn't even put together, because there is a moment a little later that serves that purpose as well. But I'm with you on that now that you've described it.
So I think So basically, in the movie, he ends up going to the church. You know, he goes to the preacher man, and the preacher man, he's got a whole thing going on here because it seems like, yes, he gives Ivan a job, but he's also he practically treats everyone around him like a slave.
A slave or a disciple.
Yeah. Well, I mean, well, that's an interesting two words to put together. That kind of stopped me dead in my brain is now really thinking about that. But no,
well, a disciple is a true believer, right?
I'm saying he treats them like that, not they treat. Yeah.
And because and there is, you've got your one guy he's bought into it. You got Longo, who is kind of bought into the rules of this place. Now, whether or not he was 20 years before Ivan, or if he's just a mean son of a bitch that has shelter here because he's sheltered under a meaner son of a bitch. I don't know.
It's probably what would have happened to Ivan if he was subservient kind of thing.
Yeah.
He gives me kind of those Uncle Tom vibes.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And so he, it's like he talks about like how, Ivan has got eyes for Elsa, which we think is the preacher's daughter, but is actually an adopted daughter. Probably not even certainly not officially adopted, because it is absolutely grooming her. Mm-hmm. And Longo's like, well, if he doesn't get her, I'm next in line, buddy.
Even the girls, like, I don't know who they are, if they're other, like, girls just like her, but they're like, yeah, the Lord says to go forth and whatever, multiply. Yeah.
And the preacher be not multiplying.
Yeah. He be not.
Yeah. And so, no, I mean, that's effectively what they say, and it's like, and she's like, whatever, I'm not, I have a choice in this matter too. So in a way, she is a little bit like Ivan, but she's Ivan if Ivan's not corrupted.
Right.
Yeah. And because she even like kind of stands up to Ivan a little bit when he asks her out. It's like, oh, you're nothing but a rude boy. Rude boy is just their term for like a punk, like a thug.
Where you going, rude boy? Yes.
And so, and he's like, no, I'm not a rude. Yeah, I'm not.
Christians are rude too.
You sure are. Yeah. They're the ones sitting in their backyard, not even giving you a fucking dime. You know. But that is also a big part of why Jimmy Cliff was cast in this. Henzell had one of his early albums, and on the front, he's looking straight at the camera, and he's like, oh, look at this nice guy. He's good looking. He's somebody you can really kind of like and want to be around and be kind of, he's appealing. And you turn it to the backside, and he's in profile, and he's like, he looks dangerous. He looks like he will, fuck a guy up with a knife. So, and that was something that Jimmy Cliff early in his career had to balance was there were people who thought of him as the nice, kind of, the nice, good looking young man, and also a little bit of the rude boy in him. And he does play that very, very well. There are times where it's like, wow, this guy's really nice and I want to hang out with him. And then it's like the next scene is like, he's fucking scary all of a sudden. And Longo finds out exactly how scary he is.
He stabbed me and he cut me. He cut me.
And yeah, so the whole thing at the church leads to
What are we laughing at?
You.
Oh, sorry.
Laughing at you, Longo. But the whole thing at the church leads Ivan to the recording studio, which he had been kind of trying to get to
Hinton, or what is that?
Mr. Hilton. Mr. Hilton. Mr. Hilton, he was, I think that guy was like a local actor that they found. It's like, Like most of the people cast in this movie, Henzell cast for their appearance.
Well, he's pretty good in this.
He is really good in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, he's got his shit under control and nobody messes with him.
Right.
But he's not like Ivan where he gets scary dangerous. He just is dangerous.
Right. I mean, he controls the radio airwaves. He's like,
and he has
probably the most important person in Kingston, right?
Yep. And he's got a hell of a line to the cop when he talks about like, oh, you've shut down the ganja and the radio. I hope it's a short manhunt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's like you're about to turn this place upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that, well, I don't even know if you're going to talk about this yet, but there's a similar story with The Harder They Come and Help, the song Help, which eventually came to be the title of the Help movie. John Lennon wrote that in a single night. And apparently Jimmy Cliff was around set all the time saying the harder they come. Like, he used that phrase a lot. And Henzell told him, like, you should write a song about that. And he did that in a night.
Huh.
I don't know how true that it, like, you hear some of those sometimes where they're like, he wrote it in a night. And it's like, did he really? But that's the story about that song.
It's a very well realized song.
Well, and there's two different versions of the song. There's the version of the song that's in the movie, and there's the version of the song that became the hit that's outside the movie.
Right. Apparently the one that you see recording here, or you see him singing in the recording studio, is an actual live recording of that song that was on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the centerpiece of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, without it, to me, it means everything to the movie.
Well, yeah. Well, and it meant everything to Jamaican audiences too, because they're seeing somebody basically pouring out all of their troubles into a microphone.
Yes. And saying like, you keep sending the problems.
Yep. I
will knock them down. It's a great fucking song.
Yeah.
It's there's such a dual aspect to it, right? Because it's a working man's song, right? Like, and nothing, no matter what you throw at me, I can take it and keep moving forward. But it's also like a cautionary song, right? Because our Ivan really truly lives like the cautionary aspect of it. He comes hard and he falls hard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And, and it's like, there's always going to be someone out there trying to exploit you. Mm-hmm. And everybody in this movie, except for Elsa, in one way or another exploits him. And it's, and of course, Elsa's the one that he rejects. Well, at least not with at least he doesn't reject her with a gun. But, but he rejects her when he is not in the position of power.
Well, yeah, and she's another victim of the squalor, right? The poverty, because she's left without a choice, essentially, and like maybe the one pure thing in her life, she has to turn in. She has to betray.
Yeah. So
she makes the hardest choice in this movie.
Totally.
And the most right choice.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Most definitely. Like, yes.
Yeah. Cause she, cause like what ends up happening is that like, yeah, I do believe she and Ivan, really do fall in love with each other.
Totally.
And they have this, and
absolutely.
There's that whole.
If she wanted the easy life, I don't know how easy it would have been, but the secure life, she would have just gone along with the preacher, but that's not what she wanted.
Not what she wanted.
She followed her heart. And she followed, so, of course. But
the scene of them
unfortunately,
bicycling,
like, environment and circumstances just
beat you down.
Wouldn't allow them to have that life that they wanted to have.
Yeah. Well, the whole shot of them riding the bike along that causeway is so well framed and shot. The only guy working on the production side that was not Jamaican was the cinematographer. He was British. He was actually working with the Scott brothers, and Henzell asked Ridley Scott if he had anybody to recommend, and he recommended this guy.
Yeah, and I think that's part of what I was talking about too, from the beginning of this episode, where I think that Ivan, it's selfishness in a way. It's like he could have protected his family. He could have sacrificed and moved back to the country. He could have had a good life. With his family, his child and his wife, and but that's not the choices that he made.
No. So the whole reason why they get exiled from the church, so a second expulsion happens when he has to deliver this thing to the recording studio for a rally, for the preacher man's rally. And he takes it down to the station. He hears the one group singing the song. I can't remember which one it is now. So it's a fucking banger though. I know that. Whatever song he walks in on, that's some good stuff. And he asks the two guys.
It's Toots and the Maytals.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember if that was their scene or not, but anyway, so he asked the two guys, it's like, well, I want to audition. I've got a song. I've got a really good song. And he's got a boss song, he calls it. And, they're like, all right, well, you can either come back tomorrow or you can come back next week. He's like, okay, I'll go do that. And he goes back to the church and he basically asks Elsa to let him into the church with her copy of the church key to practice his boss song. And he gets found out by the preacher man and he gets fired. And by the way, I don't know if you guys realize this. I realized that this time I watched it, where he lives is in that beat up ass truck, that car that's all burnt out. He sleeps there.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's like that is his, because all of his stuff is in there. And at one point, Longo's like, because he asks, this was before he had to go take the recording to the studio, and he asks, or the preacher asked Longo, it's like, where's Ivan? He's like, oh, he's in his car, but it's just a car on cinder blocks that's got all of his comic books. Yeah, it's like all of his comic books and Playboys in it. You know? Yep. But yeah, so he lives in that car. What a fucking existence, man.
Yeah.
I mean, especially since I have to assume that preacher's living pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, that's another aspect of it, right? The religion exploiting people who already can barely get by, but the preacher and the church
selling them hope.
That, like, yep, give me 10% no matter what.
Yep.
A little bit of breadcrumb just to stick around.
Yep. So yeah, he
otherwise your ever-loving eternal soul will be damned.
Although that old guy, holy shit, he was on it. He was on fire when he was giving his he was like
the other preacher,
the older preacher. Yeah, he was, that dude was on fire. Like that guy was he was out of control.
Was he on fire, Jeff? Just
he
curious.
was. Well, he was so on fire, he's sweating.
There was a lot of sweat in that scene.
Sure was. So then so basically he gets expelled from the church and Elsa goes with him. Because the preacher believes that she slept with him, that she's been.
Yep.
She gave him her body.
Yep.
And I'm sure there's a worse way you could have said that, and I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he says, I think.
I know, but I think that there could be an even worse way of saying that.
Absolutely.
From the preacher man's perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so he So yeah, so basically there, but he goes and and he's going to go to clear out his stuff, and he's going to go take his bike, and he's going to go do his recording. And Long goes like, "That's not your bike; it's my bike now." He's like fucking Debo from Friday.
He's like, I spent. He's like,
Debo coming.
I don't know what I was gonna say anymore.
How'd your chains? How'd your shit?
Fucking Debo.
It's like, but it's his now, and it's like, and like, at this point, Ivan, he's like, "Hey man, I'm on my way out of here. So what the fuck do I have to lose? I'll fucking cut your ass up if you don't give me back my bike." And he does so.
Yeah, he's like, "Come take it if it's your bike," and he goes to take it and he throws him. So that's when Ivan grabs a knife and basically cuts the shit out of him and tells him, "I'm going to kill you if you want to die.
Don't fuck with me." Yeah. And that's where you really see Ivan. The turn has. I mean, at this point,
Ivan the Terrible has come to roost.
Yeah, really, and he's no longer the guy that. I mean, like, yeah, he's got his. He's got his song coming up here, but he's already turned. It's already beaten him, basically.
Without that song making him more money, he's going to resort to worse things for sure. It's like absolutely in the stars. Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, he goes, he gets arrested for assault. He gets lashings instead of jail time because it's his first offense. And then he goes to record his song, and Mr. Hilton's like, "I'll give you $20 for it." And he's like, "What? No." So it's worth it. At least 200. And like Hilton's like, "Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll give you, here's your record. Good luck."
Right.
And yeah, and this is where you find out that there's the payola scheme that's going on around, Hilton controls everything that goes on the radio. Everybody he goes talk to says, I can't work without talking to Hilton's guy. Sorry. See you later, kid. Good luck. And so he has to basically come back and take the $20. But Hilton puts his thumb on the scale, and it's like, just, like, don't play it too much. Play it, but not too much.
Yeah, this guy's a problem. We don't want him coming around and having to record more songs.
Right. And, this is where now he's kind of living with his head in the clouds, and like Elsa's like, I'm trying to find work. I'm walking miles and miles a day looking for work. And you're over here dressing up like a fucking pimp, and it's like wanting to go out and party.
My last $2
to go out. Yeah. And it's like, no. And he's like, and that's where he basically says the whole thing about, it's like, you keep talking about like milk and honey when you get to heaven. There's none of that up there. I want mine now in this room.
My money and I need it now.
Yeah. Very, very Veruca Salt of him. But he does get to see people enjoying his song, like at the little dance club place. And he runs back into Jose, who's like, "Hey, I bet he only got $20 for that song."
Is that what Jose said? Because I have no fucking idea.
Yeah. Jose's wise to the grift that Hilton has.
Don't be lying on me, man.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's like, I can get you something that makes you a lot more. And then he falls into the ganja trade here. But let me kind of now talk about Reigen. The guy that this is based on is named Ivanhoe Martin, or at least that was his usual name. It was Vincent Ivanhoe Martin.
He's like a Billy the Kid kind of guy.
He is, yes, he is very much. He's kind of a local Jamaican legend. Reigen is his alias that it was. I mean, he was known as Ivanhoe. He was also known as Captain Midnight, which is my personal favorite. Mm. And then Reigen was his most famous alias, and that's the Jamaican word for raging. And it was true. Like, he moved from the country to Kingston, like when he was 18, and almost immediately fell into crime. And his first offense was an assault, which he did not receive jail time for. He received a lashing for. And then it just kind of tumbled forward from there. He would, I think he ended up spending a year in jail. And then he came out and he I think it was for robbery or something. He came out and he went on another robbery spree. Then he was sentenced to 5 years in jail. And then he escaped from jail and then went on a murdering spree. Oof. And in that process, he killed cops. He did kill some people, some random people, just and crossed them. Basically got in his way, and he
went bragging.
He went pretty much, and so some of the second half of the movie is heavily based on some of this stuff. Like, there is one time where he is surrounded in a motel while he's with a woman, and the police kind of close in around him and he shoots his way out of it. Then he does go to hunt down the person that he thinks was the person who turned him in, which was an associate of his. He killed another associate of his, and then he goes back trying to find that associate. Just, it happens in this movie. He goes back to the guy's girlfriend, and it's like, where is he? And she's like, I don't know. And he kills that woman. So he's like, at this point, he is full on like, I'm going to kill everything. And he does eventually get gunned down on a beach by the police. But he would taunt the police. He would send letters to the newspaper. He commissioned pictures of him with 2 6 guns, that looked like kind of basically what they did in the movie when he's in the middle of his spree. He did that.
Are there existing pictures of that?
Yes,
that you saw?
They're out there. Okay. Yeah, they're out there. Not quite the same thing, but it is very much posing like, I'm posing like I'm Billy the Kid with the rifle, or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they're out there. And so, there's something that you see all over the place in this movie that's spray painted on the buildings and stuff that says, I was here, but I disappear. That came from Reigen. He would purposely egg on the police to get him to the location so he could slip away from them and then hold it over their head that they couldn't catch him. Well, they eventually catch him and they shoot him like 5 times in the head and 15 times in the body or whatever. And when he was brought to the morgue, thousands of Jamaicans showed up to get a look at his body, so much so that the police had to spirit him away to someplace else and then quickly bury him in a pauper's grave to tamp down the excitement. Crazy. Yeah. So he was a little bit, like, as dangerous as he was a little bit of a folk hero, more in line, less like Billy the Kid, more in line of like Dillinger and Bonnie and Clyde, those types. He is known as Jamaica's first gunman. And he's now, cause like Jimmy Cliff knew of Reigen. He knew what this character was because he said that as a kid, they would tell stories about him. And yes, he is used as a boogeyman for little kids in Jamaica.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, this is based on a folk hero. And I mean, well, folk hero in a very loose term. I don't want to say necessarily hero, but he's a folk legend, if you will.
Yeah, like Bonnie and Clyde or Dillinger or whatever. You said that, I think, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and there's a million different ways you could tell the story. In fact, I mean, it has been remade into a musical, a stage musical, this movie. Perry Henzell's daughter wanted to make a remake of the movie some years after he passed away. That never came into fruition, but I think she helped with like getting the stage play into America, maybe.
Interesting note about Reigen. Well, maybe not interesting, but it's interesting to me, and I did not know this. He's mentioned or referenced in the song "The Guns of Brixton" by the Clash, but
song.
I would have to re-listen to that to catch it because I don't know where it is.
It also does not surprise me that the Clash would be.
No, I mean they're like ska.
They're
ska
very,
punk.
They're very reggae punk, ska punk. Yeah.
I mean that's like the Clash for me would probably be like my intro to liking some reggae, just because they played the note structure or the cadence or the rhythm, as they would call it in Jamaica.
Yeah, that makes. Yeah, I mean it's very much like punk reggae, right? Like yeah, because it's a little it doesn't use the
it's a lot of upstrokes instead of downstrokes on the guitar. Really is what makes that distinctive kind of sound.
Yeah, and it's a harder sound, whereas I always think of reggae as being more melodic.
Interesting.
But like the Clash, I think of a little bit harder, like punk, you know.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, they're plugged in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't think they're using steel drums either.
No, not a lot. But you also don't hear a lot of.
No,
I mean,
that's a little bit more like the calypso type stuff, right? Like,
yeah. And there's some popular reggae bands that do use them, but yeah, but I mean, but like I guess also it's like there is a specific drum sound that I hear a lot in reggae that is specific to reggae. Huh. Interesting.
Like there's a lot of songs that start with a drum, like a drum rhythm,
a drum fill or whatever.
It's something. Yeah. Not a drum roll, but like yeah. Anyway, no, I mean, yeah, that makes sense that the Clash would be, kind of influenced by that. So yeah, basically the whole second half of the movie follows a lot of that same story. Like it hits a lot of the beats of the Reigen story. You know, he ends up in the movie, he starts asking too many questions about like, hey, wait a minute. I just realized I ran some ganja and that ended up being $100,000 worth. And I'm getting like $20 and I have to give you 15 of it. What the fuck is that all about? It's like, doesn't that seem a little weird to you? He's like, well, I'm not keeping it either. It's like, yeah, but doesn't that seem not cool? You know, it's like, you know, is he trying to unionize the ganja trade here? It's like, what's
the troublemaker.
Yes. And so he's starting to ask questions that kind of buck the system of the way things are. And if there's one thing, the money people, I'm not even talking about the out front power people, but the people who hold all the money, usually behind the scenes, they don't want any questions asked.
They're called the deep state.
Yes. Indeed. But no, I mean, that is one thing that is like, you know, I mean, this movie started filming like in the early 70s. So the movie's like 55 years old, right? And it's still saying a lot of things that are true to this day.
I find that more and more unfortunate the more I watch older movies. Like we watched 12 Angry Men recently. I'm like, holy shit, this could happen right now.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Still, 80 years later, like what the fuck, people?
Every time I'm called in the jury duty and I'm sitting in that box and I'm looking around thinking, who's the fucking George C. Scott of this?
Every time? How many times have you been called to jury duty?
Too fucking many. Every 2 years I get called.
I've never been called.
Yeah, I'm due in 26, in fact, I think.
I had my first one was supposed to be this last year, but we were out of town, so I got an excusal or whatever.
This is what voting gets you. The fucking called.
What do you mean? I've voted for 25 years or 30
I know,
years
but like they take voter rolls and they take licenses.
It's
Yep.
not working for me because
apparently I'm just constantly walking around with that little red dot on my fucking.
guess
Are you wanting to do it, Jason?
I would do it.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason
I will
not
tell
to.
you. I will tell you that you will become very frustrated at the state of social studies in this country.
Well, I'm sure
when nobody can answer the question what the verdict they would pass if they're not given all of the evidence. It's like, that's not guilty, you dumb fucks. He's not guilty. And it's like, I'm sitting there like squirming in my chair because I'm like, you're about to send this guy to jail, you dumb fucks. Anyway.
Have you ever actually gotten selected?
No, but I've been in the box 3 times. Yeah.
Okay. But you've never actually been selected.
I've had that.
This guy is fucking steaming. We can't have him.
This guy is
Look
too
at him.
smart.
He looks like he has to take a shit.
He's sweating and angry.
It's like, not shitty social studies guy.
They don't want people who know the system in there.
Not the prosecutors.
That's what I'm saying.
But I have answered questions from a lawyer, and there was one time I had to say that I would have a conflict of interest because it was a nonprofit that we serve that was being sued. And I was like, I would have a conflict of interest, and so I excused myself basically because that was the last question they asked me. It's like, yep, no. Anywho, if I were in the jury for Ivan, I'd probably say the man's got a singing voice of an angel. I can't.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Well.
I'm going to be like Mr. Hilton's. Like I want his next record. Yeah.
Bob. Yeah. That's like probably my favorite line in the movie because it's so like telling of just everyone in power. Like if you bring him in, have him come record one last song.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, he ends up because he's asking these questions. He gets like they's like, well, we got to do something about this. And one of the guys that's in charge of the whole racket with the ganja trade is a cop. He's part of the protection of these dealers.
He makes sure they can ride their motorcycles past the cops that are stationed and don't get hit. There was an incident I think you probably would mention where someone's wife got shot because the army can only be told so much about what's going on there and to try to keep them away, but now that the ship's been caught
and there's an American interest too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now the fields are going to burn. Sorry.
Yes. No, it's Pedro's wife that gets killed.
Oh, see, I didn't know who Pedro was yet in the movie.
Pedro is basically his partner. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know that. I didn't even put that together until just now that the guy was a sick kid.
Yeah.
His wife was killed.
And that's why Elsa needs to.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
He gets hooked up with Pedro because Jose is above them in the chain of command. They answer up to Pedro and they give Pedro part of their money that they collect, which goes up the chain, and so that's when he talks to Pedro and Pedro's like, you got to talk to Jose. So he talks to Jose and Jose's like, we got to fucking squash this shit. now.
One of my guys is a problem.
Yep.
Arrest him, basically, and that starts the killing spree.
Because he remembers it sure doesn't feel good to get lashed.
Yeah, they showed his ass one more time for us viewers. They're like, let's show Jimmy Cliff's bare ass again, and people will get the picture of why he shot everybody.
Hey, man, I'm sure he had a lot of lady fans.
I was so confused when he was in bed with that one lady. I was like, who is this? Who is he sleeping with when he's in the hotel room?
I was confused by that too, but it was
It was
Jose's lady.
Yeah.
Yes, but it was like,
and then he goes back to her.
It was in reverse how we learned what the hell. Like, so in the first moment, you're like, what the fuck is he doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, doesn't he love Elsa?
Yeah.
Why
he does, but
yeah, it just didn't make sense in the moment.
Yeah. Elsa's too busy walking around town trying to get a real job.
Yeah. And taking care of sick boy, not rude boy, sick boy.
Yeah. Sick boy gets all of her attention, not rude boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so like he kills that cop, which then begins the whole cycle of, it's like, oh, he's becoming a bigger problem now. And so it just escalates.
And while it's escalating, the people of Kingston are starting to rally behind him.
And they like his song, which then, hey, Mr. Payola scheme, he's able to benefit from that too.
Yes, and he's kind of like, okay, now, and he gets mad that the cop took it off the air when he had already said don't play it too much, but now it's hurting him. And he's like, the people are going to kill you if you don't catch on.
Right. Yeah.
Basically.
Well, yeah, because he cuts off both that song and
the ganja.
And the ganja. It's like, oh, yeah, this better not last long.
And anyone who's making any money is doing something illegal for it. And once that gets cut off, they're all screwed.
Oh, it's the whole plan. So yeah, because then he gets cornered at that hotel room with Jose's woman. He shoots his way out of that. So more dead people. He thinks Jose was the one who ratted him out. So he goes after him. And, so that's a whole chase, which then he, the real story is he kills Jose's girlfriend. In this movie, he wounds her.
Yeah.
Which is just compounding everything, making a bigger and bigger target. Everybody is out after him. And meanwhile, the average person who is like, hey, you know what? Maybe he's right. Maybe some shit's fucked up around here, are rallying around him.
And what's interesting is you do have Elsa, who's his first partner, right? His first real partner in this movie, taking care of a sick kid who's really like the sick kid is the underbelly or the suffering of Kingston just in general, right? And in order for that to stop, we need to go back to the bullshit way. In a sense, right? Like, we can't afford this hard change right now because people are dying.
Yeah, I mean, if we can't sell the shit, we can't get him medicine.
Right, but we do need it to go back to the way it was because the change will take too long and we'll all die.
Yeah.
Probably common in history kind of thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jason.
Common in politics. It's happening now.
Yeah.
Right? Like people can't take the long view because they can't afford to.
Right. They can't afford to. And Elsa is that choice a lot of people
it's life
are
in
making.
America for most people, right?
Yeah.
That's why people like Trump get elected.
Which is unfortunate because it's that what puts you in the position you don't think you're going to be in.
Yep.
And then you like, I voted for this.
Yeah.
In some kind of celebratory way. Like, what?
And then ultimately you regret it because
someday it comes someday the guns turn on you.
Well, yeah, and most politicians, even left, right, or the middle, ultimately bow to the billionaires.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everyone can be bought.
Everybody, yeah. So it's yes. Yeah, you think you do what's right for now, and you sacrifice the future. Yeah.
Living an average American life is a payola scheme.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
And it's both sides. Like, I don't want, I mean, I could be ultra critical of one if I wanted to, but yeah, you're right. Like, every politician and every thing that looks like a good thing could be just a disguised way to make another rich person money, not the other rich person that was making money before. Right? Like,
I heard somebody
and shit like that.
I heard somebody recently say that people in Congress are too busy needing to be reelected than actually needing to do the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That's why, I mean, it's astonishing to me when you see people whose say what you will about her, and I think I couldn't disagree with her more on most things. Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I knew you were going to say her. I knew it.
I couldn't disagree with her more on most things, but at least she has some sense of integrity for her belief and how she feels like the system works, right? Like,
she's not selling her principles, right? Like,
right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. She doesn't strike me as someone who is necessarily for sale, at least not now. I do believe that something happened with her where she has come to realize that that the president is a snake oil salesman, right?
He's not selling any Jewish space lasers.
Oh, yeah. Now, no, don't take this as an endorsement of her ideology, right? But there is a sense of like, okay, at least you stand for something, right? Yeah. Like, I can at least respect that, and maybe at that point when people can actually like believe in something, they can also have civil conversations about that. I
agree with you, but I also the cynic in me is like, she's the first to realize the table is folding.
Maybe it could very well,
like
it could very
she's trying to save herself for a governor run.
I don't know. Maybe.
But you're right. You're right about.
I don't think she has a chance in hell of winning.
No,
you're right about the integrity. Like, what she is saying and doing is at least like what I would consider the right thing to do. Whatever her reasons are, I can't judge.
I mean, the fact that she's actually apologized for things has pretty much knocked me over with a feather. It's like, whether that's sincere or not, I don't know. But
it's important for people to hear it, though, too, because there are people out there who need to know it's okay to apologize and to say I was wrong.
To acknowledge the toxic discourse and her participation in it, I think it is important. It is important.
Absolutely. 100%.
Well, to kind of tie this all back to the harder they come.
Yeah, sorry.
because there is a
that's good context.
There's a good point here that you made about like, so, you talked about, it's like, okay, well, how do you get somebody like a Trump elected, right? And a lot of that comes from a perceived pain.
Yes.
That people, right or wrong, are trying to correct with a vote, right?
Right.
Which I think the other reason why somebody like whether it's a Donald Trump or Bernie Sanders or Mamdani or whatever, populism, I think opens the door for a wild result.
Sure.
So you think like Ivanhoe is kind of like,
he's a populist figure.
Should people support Ivanhoe? Yeah. So not you think, you're saying is what
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because it's like there are plenty of people who think, regardless of the crimes that Donald Trump commits, he's doing the right thing for all of us. Right. They rally behind him like some sort of
in a good
hero.
He's sticking it to the man, but in reality, it couldn't be more clear that he is the fucking man.
Oh, he's not sticking it to the man. He's cranking himself as the man. Yeah, he is jerking himself off over but in a way that's populism, right? Like that, you could have a wild result if enough people buy in whatever version of populism is being sold.
Right, and they'll run down the street with you throwing cans at your opponent.
By the way, so talking about Jose being chased off there with the cans being thrown at him by children who all rallied around Ivanhoe, the actor, Carl Bradshaw, because he's the star of No Place Like Home. Carl Bradshaw.
I wouldn't understand a word of that.
Well, he really doesn't talk like that. Like interviews, he talks like he and Jimmy Cliff have none of this version of the dialect.
That's wild.
But like he is talking about like how they were kids who were literally picking up stones, cans, steel trash off the ground and chucking it at him. And he's like, he was literally running for his life.
That's amazing. I love it. Guerrilla filmmaking, baby.
Pretty much. It's like just, directing the kids just to pick up what's around them and start throwing it at them. Got dangerous.
I love it. I love it.
So, but basically in the end, Ivan starts to feel invincible, right? Because he has support of people around him and he has what he thinks is the support of the people closest to him. Elsa, he certainly has it from Pedro, because Pedro, along with the other dealers, is part of a conversation whether or not they should turn him in, because things are getting a little too heated around them. And he ultimately says no. And he abstains from that and he sticks to that.
Which is interesting to me. He has the most to lose, it feels like, out of any.
He has the most to lose, but he believes the most in.
It'd be like JD Vance letting his kids die.
Well, I mean, no.
I'm joking, but.
I mean, he might, honestly. I mean, we don't. That guy is.
He's like.
No, I'm just saying.
He's like one election away from being a deadbeat dad, honestly.
If you let Ivanhoe be the populist, that's what I was.
Well, like. I mean, it's a lot of it. Also, is there are a lot of people who. Well, it's the idea of supporting somebody beyond your best interest, right? So it's the farmer voting for Donald Trump when he screws him over, and then has to bail him out. Which screws over
doing so,
but it screws over another portion of the populace
while decrying the evils of socialism at the same time.
Exactly. So, but anyway, but like I mean, like this is a representation of how people tend to go against their own best interest.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's not entirely wrong that something does need to change. But like you were saying, it's like it can't change all at once. It's like people will die if it changes all at once.
Or too slowly.
In this situation. Or too slowly. I mean, there's a rubber band effect that will either stretch the rubber band out to the point where people are all going to die anyway, and it's never going to snap back, or it's going to be one of those quick snapbacks where it's going to get a whole lot worse for a lot longer than the change fixed anything. But yeah, so like, he ends up telling us, like, I know a guy who works on a boat that's going to Cuba. Get on that boat, get the hell out of here. Once you're gone, everything should get better for the rest of us.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Pretty much. And he's like, and I think he kind of thinks like, well, and Ivan, you'll be remembered as a hero.
Roz in Cuba.
Yep, exactly. And so, but there's a problem. In one of his shootouts, he's been shot, so he can't swim out to the boat, which basically strands him to his doom, because Elsa ultimately is the one who goes to see the preacher man to basically confess. Well, in a way, it's kind of confessional, right? and she gives up the location of where Ivan is.
Which is her intention all along. Is she's made the hard choice. It's not like she told the preacher in confidence, and I don't want to have that illusion because Elsa is the one who makes the powerful decision here.
Yeah. Well, she's the one who ultimately probably saves that little kid's life. Or at least extends his life.
Right.
And so the army this time comes. It's not the police. It's the army that shows up.
They're hilariously not trained to be army. But we can go past that. It's just funny how inept they are.
Well, it is. It's edited in a way though that it's like there's a lot of quick cuts there too.
That little hats sticking over the ledges and stuff. I don't know. Little hats. Whatever. It's fine.
Anyway, but yeah, Ivan ends up running out of bullets basically, and at that point, all he can do is taunt them.
And he starts daydreaming of Django.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going out with the giant gun here, see if you can stop me. But he really, like you said, is bulletless at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, they shoot him and he dies. And then it ends. It's over. He's done.
Yep. It just goes straight to some lady's booty to the song The Harder They Come.
Yep. His music lives on.
Yes.
Legend lives on, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Much the same way as Reagan. The pictures of him with the guns that he has, that is, more people know Jimmy Cliff for that than they do his music.
Mm-hmm.
That's the image of him that a lot of people have because of the movie. And, and there is you can say what you will about why he does it or what it's about, but it's, he just wants to feel like a bad man, and it's all performative. It's all that performative shit that people who want to act hard, that they go through, but it's, but in the end, it is it's right. It's right here on the cover of the Blu-ray. It's in every poster for the movie. The two images of him, one of him singing and one of him posing as the rude boy, which is very similar to what Barry Henzell thought of him just looking at him, the two sides of Jimmy Cliff. But so Henzell always wanted to make a sequel to this movie. And one time Jimmy Cliff was asked, it's like, well, how would you bring back somebody who's been shot 27 times? And his response was effectively, you see me shot, you didn't see me die.
Oh, that's the Breaking Bad ending.
Right. Yeah. It's like, there's no confirmation that he's truly dead. One of the other things, there was an interview with Jimmy Cliff on one of the discs from that Shout release. And they asked him about religion because for a little while, he was Muslim. But he's also would identify with Rastafarian. And they asked him, it's like, well, how do you reconcile having multiple beliefs, basically? And he said, for me, religion is this: respect for what is sacred. What is sacred to me is truth and life. Truth is in every religion. Life is all around us. So a little bit of a hopeful.
He's a spiritualist at heart.
Yeah. I think that would be fair to say. Also, that interview was like in the 80s. So there's like 40 more years of who knows what else he dabbled in. But
right.
But it's a fair way to approach it if you're religious.
Sure.
Before Henzell died, he did say he finally completed the script for the sequel, but he never made it. And he passed away from cancer in 2006. I still think that this is a movie that's ripe for a remake, because it could be remade anywhere. Maybe harder to remake it in a place like the United States where every place has like internet or radio or TV. But there are places like in France where you live out in the countryside and you could move to Paris and all of a sudden have a completely different life.
Sacre bleu!
Right. A good time for a remake of this here in the United States would have probably been like 30 years ago, where you still would have had some people, quote unquote, off the grid.
Right.
Would have moved into a scenario like, and realize, oh, the city is not what I thought it was. Anyway, I think a lot of what the positives of this movie comes in the interesting things around the movie. The first half of the movie, I think, is spectacular. I think I like the second half of the movie quite a bit still, but it isn't as strong as the first half. But I think everything around the movie is incredibly interesting.
Yeah,
and it's an important film.
Sure.
A movie like this is fun to talk about because there is external things. And the cultural impact of the music to Jamaica itself is amazing. Like letting people know that this isn't just some folk music on an island. It's actual, real, good music that you can listen to and open a lot of people's eyes to that.
Absolutely. Jason, your criticism was exactly Roger Ebert's criticism.
Oh, interesting.
He generally liked the movie, but he only awarded it 2.5 stars out of 4.
How many thumbs is that?
It's about a half one.
Okay.
That would be a marginal thumbs up, would be what he would call that.
That would be just barely passing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I gave it 3.5 out of 5. But it is a rich with culture and it there's just a lot going on. Culture, yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but yeah, it's basically everything we talked about in this episode is very, very much like living within this film.
I didn't even have a chance to rate it, but I think I'd land with you like 3.5-ish. And honestly, I really liked it, but it's more fun. I've had more fun talking about it for this, however long.
And honestly, like I want to pick up the Blu-ray just because of all the interviews and all of the like. I find like the fact that this movie exists and why it exists almost more interesting than the movie itself. Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, I think that's I mean, like. You could say that about a lot of movies that are even great movies. Like, I mean, there's a lot of really interesting stuff about Citizen Kane.
Sure.
That isn't the movie itself.
Sure.
There's like even the all-time greats have, but I think that it's as mean as the movie is. In a lot of scenes or in a lot of moments, it's a pleasant time watching it.
Oh yeah, I mean, even just to put it on and just like listen to the music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And pop up your head every now and then and watch some of the scenes. I mean, I do love movies like this where you have layers of enjoyment to it that you kind of focus in and out of.
And Jimmy Cliff really is he was not an actor. I mean, this is his first movie. Obviously he's much better known for his music, even though he's done some acting, but he's pretty good in this.
Yeah, he is.
There is something about him that you want to watch throughout this 100 minutes, or
you can tell that he's comfortable with that kind of spotlight. Yeah, he's an entertainer, and he's totally believable, I think. And I mean, obviously, this is his culture he's representing. This is partly his life he's representing, you know?
It is. That was another thing that was big about casting him, was that Henzell knew that at least in the reggae part of it, the recording and trying to get someplace with that, and the hoops that you have to jump through to get through that in Jamaica, that, yeah, he would know. He just experienced that a few years before making this movie.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, which is funny, even though Bob Marley had an album first, Jimmy Cliff was the one who introduced Marley to a guy who could record the album. So Cliff was actually a little bit above Marley at the beginning, even though Marley beat him to an album.
He also opened the floodgates for him. In a way,
It was
because of this
an odd,
movie.
yeah, and it's because exactly, like, Marley isn't known to the world at large for a few more years after this movie.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, it was the later 70s that he was, had really.
Bob Marley really deserves every bit of respect that he gets for as a
Whoa,
recording
100%.
artist.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So even if you want to put them side by side, like, Jimmy Cliff's voice really is incredible, but Bob is like just as incredible in a different way.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Again, this came from that 80s interview. I mean, Cliff did mention that he, as he put it, he stopped smoking the herb because it messed up his voice.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he stayed off of it, but he said that, he stopped for a little while, noticed that his voice was a little bit better. And then he went back home, smoked up, and then went on stage and was like, nope, that's not good. It's not.
Nice.
But no, I mean, I'm trying to think. It feels like there was something else I was going to mention about. Oh,
it's also just nice to see, like, people legitimately smoking weed on camera.
There's two things.
Like, and that guy's got a fucking crazy bubbler action going on there.
Steph said,
and there is,
Steph said,
you
leave.
can't fake anything that good.
Steph said, take the gun, leave the bong.
I love it.
Whenever that scene would play in
Take
Jamaica,
the gun, leave the ganja, man.
whenever that scene played in the theater in Jamaica, the whole place lit up. So now you have to watch the movie through the thick
They didn't throw spoons. They
they all lit up at the same time. Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Though I remember the other thing I forgot to say. Initially, Jimmy Cliff was to pick every song that was going to play in the movie. Personally, like, not that Perry Henzell couldn't do that, but he was like, hey, I've got a singer. He would, he has an even deeper recognition of the right songs to play. And, they'd start working on the post-production. He's like, so Jimmy, you guys, like, no. Jimmy, you gonna do this? I've not gotten around to it. And then it's like the last possible minute. He's like, so Jimmy, do you got the music selected for this outside of his songs? And he's like, nah, I'm not going to do that. So Henzell had to then basically go to what he had on his shelf and just start dropping stuff in. And then it,
which is like a greatest hits of reggae.
Like, of that era. Yeah.
Up to that point. Yeah.
Yeah. And, then the soundtrack hit big. So yeah, but that was supposed to be Jimmy Cliff's, job also in the post-production. He
must have been smoking too much ganja.
Yeah, he was well, he left the gun and took that bong. Yeah.
That would have been the right choice, but it was not the choice that he made in the movie. Good stuff. Stuff.
This is a movie that I think most cinephiles probably have on their radar if they haven't seen it.
Now we're talking about cinephiles on Film Seizure.
Yeah, PDF cinephiles. That's what that preacher was.
You made Jason yawn.
Yeah, I know.
I think we did it, Jeff.
Yeah,
we did
I think we did it. I think people should check this out. All right. Next week, we don't need no education.
We don't need no thoughts controlled.
Nope. Our musical month here in January continues on with episode number 399.
Damn.
Yep.
The Wall. Pink Floyd's The Wall, as a matter of fact. Been a while since I've seen this. I know I every now and then I get the bug to listen to the album.
Yep.
So I'll be looking forward to that. This is
Well, you're going to be listening to some of the album then. When you
pretty
watch
much. I mean, yeah, because I mean, it is essentially a rock opera.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I will largely be listening to music while visually fascist hammers are walking.
Lots of bathtubs and hammers. Yeah.
Yep.
And
I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm. It's been a while since I've seen this too, but The Wall is. It's really Roger Waters' masterpiece. It's not my favorite Pink Floyd, but it's good stuff.
It's really good though.
We'll talk about that.
It
next
is really
week,
good.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure we will have more to say about that on January 14th. So go over to filmseizure.com. That's where you can find all of our episodes, all the places you can follow us on the social medias, listen to our show on the various podcast sites, and what have you. This upcoming Monday, all the same places. Filmseizure.com, all the other places. My Monster Mondays episode that is continuing with the month of 2010's monster movies. Hey, that goes over to England as well for Attack the Block.
Nice.
Attack the Block.
Yeah.
Fun movie.
Yes, with some people who become extremely recognizable later in their careers.
Yeah. John Boyega's debut, I believe, right?
John Boyega.
Boyega. Yes.
I like John Bogoya.
John
He sounds
Bodega.
like he makes raviolis.
John Bodega.
Yeah. Yes, it is his film debut. And a future doctor is also there, Jodie Whittaker.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, not her debut, though, but very early in her career. Filmseizure.com for all of that. This upcoming Friday at my website, bmovieanima.com, the new reigning champ of the most recent movie ever covered on B Movie Anima will be 2025's Gush.
Gosh.
Directed by Brian Williams and Scott Shermer, starring the always great Ellie Church.
Ellie Church.
All right. So until we add another brick to the wall, my name is Jeff Arbuckle.
My name is Chuck Moore.
I'm Jason Oliver, and you have been listening to Film Seizure.